Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm going to do a quick little project using the Halloween Damask pattern, and I have previously used this on actually my ghost, and this I did white on white. The pattern has pumpkins, there's some birds, possibly ravens, some cats, some ghosts. It's really an interesting pattern and really very pretty, even though it is Halloween themed. So I'm going to use this on top of this cute little black riser. Won't this make a nice little display for my Halloween project? So I'm going to move the transfer out of the way for a moment and get started prepping this riser. I do need to wax it because it is wood and it is painted and it is a found surface. So I want to put a little layer of wax on it to protect my adhesive back transfer from any chance of any wood or splinters or anything pulling up from it. Our transfers are reusable 8 to 12 times or more, and whenever you're putting them on wood or something that's been painted, I do advise using a little of our surface wax to protect the transfer, make sure nothing lifts off of it. It's just a little precautionary step that save you a lot of trouble. I actually, a long time ago, when I was a newbie, well, it wasn't that long ago, but back when I was a newbie, had a found surface that I thought was chalkboard. And I went and did my little project on it, only to find out when I lifted the transfer that it wasn't chalkboard. It was actually painted black. It was advertised as being a chalkboard, but it really wasn't. So when I lifted the transfer up, the paint actually stuck to the back of my transfer. I was like, seriously? I was able to salvage the transfer. I got most of it off, but it could have happened that I wasn't able to. So I always wax. So I'm just putting a little bit of wax on, rub it in, and then I'm going to rub it off. And this is just our surface wax. I love these little containers because they're a small enough container that it doesn't get hard. Because, you know, those great big ones at the hardware store would take years to go through, and they actually harden and dry up. So this is a nice little convenient size, and it has no smell, which I think is wonderful. Some of those things could have quite an odor. So I rubbed it in. I'm just going to rub it off. A little hard for me to hang on to here. I need another leg. It's a 3-legged riser. I'm just trying to keep it steady and still. So yeah, rub it in, rub it off. I usually use a somewhat circular motion, and I usually use one of our little wax buffing cloths. I didn't have it handy, so I just grabbed a paper towel, and that works fine. The cloth is just a little bit, I think, makes it a little bit quicker and a little bit easier. So you want to make sure that there's no residue of wax on the top that you could feel. As you buff it, it'll get smoother and smoother, and then you know you've got it all buffed in. So that's pretty much it with what I need to do for the prep of this wood piece. Now I'm going to go back, get my transfer, and I'm going to fuzz part of it. This is a large size transfer. It is actually 18 inches by 18 inches. And I'm going to only use the top. I mean, I don't really need to use the whole transfer. So I'm going to leave it actually on its little backer instead of pulling it all off and then trying to place it with, you know, something so large. So I'm just going to pull back the transfer and fuzz it a little bit. Fuzzing means deliberately putting lint on the back of the transfer so that it does not stick quite as snugly. And I have a fuzzing cloth that one side's terry, the other's microfiber. You always want to use the terry side when you want to fuzz your transfers. So I'm just applying it. I'm going to lift it up. Usually I do it the opposite. I apply the transfer to the fuzzing cloth. But with something this large, I'm just doing it this way for convenient, and I'm going to grab the center of it. you have any questions or whatever, just drop me a line. I'm happy to answer anything. I know this is kind of an unexpected live this afternoon, but I thought I'd drop in and say hello. And this has the grain. I'm going to place it horizontally so it's lined up with that. And I have this little pumpkin face that I want more for the center. So I'm just moving it a little bit over to the side. Oh yeah, and there's my ghost. They'll be right up on the top. And I'm going to press it down, smooth it out, make sure I don't have any air bubbles anywhere. Now the adhesive's only on the back of the teal portion of the transfer, not on the silk screen that we're seeing through and seeing the black through. So I just want to make sure that all this is down nice and snugly. I've already opened my paste and actually stirred it up to make sure that it's the proper consistency, somewhere between a yogurt and a sour cream. And I'm using our orange peel. I thought, what better color to go with the black of this riser than a nice bright orange. Perfect for Halloween. And I'm starting in the middle and basically going towards the outer edge, just as it's easier. And as you can see, whoops, a little bit of paste does go a long way. So I want to make sure I go all the way to the edge of this riser, this round riser. Remove any excess. And then I'm going to turn things around so that I have a little bit easier of access there or here. And paste coming towards myself. And I'm going to actually hold it from the bottom so I hold it steady. Otherwise it's kind of skating around on this background of the transfer. Grab a little bit more paste. There we go. Kind of hold that in place. I'm going to make sure I've gone all the way to the edge. This is looking good. I've removed the excess there. Come back around over here. Now I do have this stuck to itself. Let me gently lift it apart. You never want to tug or stretch on your transfers or pull on them strongly because they could potentially stretch, because think of the silk screen of being like a fabric. And you don't want to distort or pull it on the bias where that it could basically become distorted. So I think this is looking pretty good. I've got all the way to my edges. Make sure I don't have any lines. I could put the excess back in my little container, and now I'm going to pull it off. I've placed the transfer, I've pasted, and now I'm going to peel back the transfer and look at my design. How cool is this? Won't that make a nice addition to my jack-o'-lanterns and my haunted houses and my ghost? Thanks for stopping by today. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Have a safe Halloween. See you soon.